What if I told you that one of the most terrifying horror icons of all time was inspired by a real person? A man whose crimes were so disturbing, they changed cinema forever. Today, we're diving into the chilling true story behind Leatherface, the chainsaw-wielding monster from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, and trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because the truth is even darker than the movies. When you think of horror movie villains, Leatherface is in a league of his own. He's not just a character. He's a symbol of pure, unadulterated terror. The mask made of human skin, the guttural sounds he makes, and of course that roaring chainsaw. He's the stuff of nightmares, a hulking figure who chases his victims with a relentlessness that's hard to shake. For decades, he's been the reason people think twice before taking a shortcut down a desolate country road. We see him as this unstoppable force of nature, a monster created for the big screen to make us jump out of our seats. But Leatherface wasn't born in a Hollywood writer's room. His roots don't come from fantasy. They go back to a small, quiet town in Wisconsin, and a real man named Ed Gein. This is where the story takes a turn from fiction to horrifying fact. To understand the inspiration for Leatherface, we have to travel back to the 1950s, to Plainfield, Wisconsin. There lived a man named Ed Gein. On the surface, he was just a quiet, unassuming local. A bit of an oddball, maybe. But no one suspected the true darkness lurking within him. He lived in isolation on his family farm after his mother died, a woman who had a powerful and strange hold over him his entire life. It was in the seclusion of this farmhouse that his horrific activities began. Gein wasn't a chainsaw-wielding killer like Leatherface. His crimes were, in some ways, even more unsettling. He was a grave robber. Under the cover of night, he would visit local cemeteries and exhume the bodies of recently deceased women who resembled his late mother. But what he did with the bodies is what truly cemented his place in the annals of crime. He wasn't just collecting them, he was using their remains to create household items. Imagine this. Police raid his farmhouse, expecting to find a reclusive hoarder. Instead, they walk into a real-life house of horrors. They found bowls made from human skulls, chairs upholstered with human skin, leggings, a corset, and masks, all crafted from the skin of the dead. Imagine walking into his farmhouse and finding lampshades made of human skin. Masks crafted from faces. This was no movie set. This was real. The discovery sent shockwaves not just through the small town of Plainfield, but across the entire nation. In the relatively innocent 1950s, the idea that a man could do something so monstrous was beyond comprehension. The newspapers called it the House of Horrors, and the public was both horrified and morbidly fascinated. Gein had brought a level of depravity to light that no one was prepared for. So how do we get from a quiet grave robber in Wisconsin to a chainsaw-wielding maniac in Texas? Well, the grotesque details of Ed Gein's crimes became a goldmine for storytellers, especially those in the horror genre. His twisted psychology and gruesome handiwork inspired not one but three of horror's most iconic villains. First, there was Norman Bates from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Gein's unhealthy obsession with his deceased mother was the direct inspiration for Norman's own twisted maternal relationship. Then years later, the character Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs, who skins his victims to create a woman's suit, was also heavily based on Gein's skin-crafting horrors. Most famously, of course, there's While the creators of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tobe Hooper and Kim Hinkle, took creative liberties, the core of the horror came directly from the Gein case. The filmmakers added the iconic chainsaw to make the killer more cinematically terrifying. They created a whole cannibalistic family to amplify the sense of isolation and inescapable dread. But the most disturbing element of Leatherface, his mask made of human skin, was pulled directly from the gruesome reality of what police found in Ed Gein's farmhouse. Gein's skin masks were a way for him to become a woman, a way to crawl into their skin. For Leatherface, the masks are a way to hide his identity and express different personas. The connection is undeniable. So when you watch Leatherface rev that chainsaw, remember, it's not just fiction, it's a nightmare born from truth. That thin, fleshy mask isn't just a prop, it's a horrifying echo of a real man's descent into madness. The release of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974 changed the horror landscape forever. Leatherface wasn't a supernatural demon or a creature from another world. He felt terrifyingly real, a product of a broken, rural America. He helped usher in the golden age of the slasher film. creating a blueprint for villains like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. But what sets Leatherface apart is that sliver of truth. Audiences were captivated by the film partly because whispers of its real-life inspiration made the horror feel so much more immediate and plausible. The film's marketing even leaned into this, falsely claiming it was a true story, which only fueled the public's fascination. The line between what was real and what was created for the screen became beautifully, terrifyingly blurred. This cultural fascination proves a chilling point. We are most scared by the evil we know can exist. The scariest monsters aren't the ones hiding under your bed. They're the ones inspired by real people who live down the street. The story of Ed Gein reminds us that sometimes the most disturbing tales don't come from a writer's imagination, but from the dark corners of the human mind. So what do you think? Is Leatherface just a terrifying character, or does knowing the real story make him even scarier? If you enjoyed uncovering the truth behind horror legends, smash that like button, subscribe for more chilling stories, and hit the bell so you never miss a nightmare. Until next time, stay curious and stay brave.